What is up, everyone? Welcome back to my channel, and if you are new, welcome. My name is Meg, and today I'm testing out makeup sponge versus makeup brush. What is better for applying foundation? Today's video is totally inspired by Maddie Kennedy. I am obsessed with her Instagram. She's kind of on YouTube, but her main focus is Instagram, and if you're not following her, you want the people to follow her too? Are you upset they're not following her? If you are not following her, you are sorely missing out, my friend. Just look at the freaking talent. Oh, that blend. Okay, anyways, this whole entire video is inspired by her because lately on her Insta stories, she has been doing this brush technique with foundation, and I'm not gonna lie, I have been so hard up on using beauty sponges for the last, I don't know how many years. The thought of trying to do my foundation with a brush literally terrified me, but just seeing her do it over and over and over and over again convinced me to give it a shot. Here's the deal. I am going to be doing half my face with a sponge, half my face with a brush. This is a big, soft, dual fiber brush. So ideally, because it is so soft and dual fiber, it is not going to leave the little brush streaks on your face, which was a downside of using brushes. And it's just, can we just take a minute to pause and appreciate the makeup sponge though? Because I don't know how I lived or how I did my makeup without it looking atrocious before with a brush, because I have dry skin. Brushes are normally not my friend, so I'm very interested to see how this turns out. Luna is very excited too. And before we get into the footage, be sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on future content, and let's roll into it. Is that okay with you? You wanna go? Let's go! My face is already primed and ready to go. I use the Neutrogena moisturizer, the Hydro Boost for extra dry skin. I love using that because it actually soaks in my skin. It doesn't leave my face feeling tacky or anything afterwards, so my primer sits on top really nicely. I use a Smashbox pore minimizing primer in my pore problem zone, and then for extra moisture I use the Too Faced Hangover RX primer. And today, because it is winter and it's starting to get really cold and harsh and my skin is starting to turn like I put on a very thin layer of the MAC strobe cream. I use the silver one. I just put that on with a brush. So with the foundation today, I know I said in my review that this Clinique Even Better foundation, if you're interested in the review, it'll be linked up above. But I know I said in my review it doesn't marry well with like strobing products, and that is because I had tested it with the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector, and for some reason it doesn't work great with this. But with my MAC strobe cream, it seems to work fine. So this side I'm going to use a sponge, this side I'm going to use the brush. I am so afraid / nervous to put this on with the brush because my skin is so dry and so finicky. Like, I feel like I'm honestly setting myself up for failure using this technique in the winter. I definitely feel like it is something that I could possibly use in the summer. I'm so scared. When Maddie does her videos and she shows herself putting the foundation on with this brush, she just says that she pats it into her skin until it completely sets itself and becomes super matte. So for me, it sounds interesting. I want to love it, but because I have dry skin and I like a dewy finish, I'm not sure if I'm going to love this. But this is the brush she used. This is the blush brush by Real Techniques. So I'm just going to go ahead and do an overall pat down to spread the product. And then I'm going to focus from there on setting this into place, quote unquote. From what I understand, there's no reason to like swirl or really move the foundation around, and just doing the patting motions is going to set it into place and place it where it needs to be. I'm just going to keep patting until it feels like it's dry. Alright, so I think that is going to be about it. I see what she means. Wow, hello. I see what she means with the technique. If my skin was a little bit more supple or hydrated, I could see this working. But because it is, you know, winter and like in the 30s and harsh cold wind, my skin is just not in a good place right now. So I think that this is something I want to come back to in the spring or summer. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom in a little bit to show you the difference. Sponge side. And over here is a brush side. I don't think this looks terrible, but I feel like the product isn't evenly dispersed and placed exactly where I want it. Like over here, it just looks a little bit patchy. Same thing along here. And my skin just looks a little bit more textured. I do feel like I have a little bit more of fuller coverage on the sponge side. I'm noticing that definitely on my nose. So to try to remedy, I'm just going to put a little bit more foundation on and just kind of try to smooth things over with my sponge. Oh, but before I do, let me test it. It does feel like it's dried down slightly more than the sponge side, but I think that's just to be expected because the sponge does have moisture in it, so it could take longer for the foundation to really sink and dry down into your skin. Alrighty, I will be back with my final thoughts once I have the rest of my makeup on and I'm looking more presentable. I think Luna has recovered from her moment. Yep. Alright, so in conclusion, because it is winter, I will give it the timing. I do want to remember in like 6 to 8 months from now, when it's not so dry and cold, I do want to try to remember to come back to this technique and test it out when my skin is a lot more hydrated, because it's not really fair to say this technique doesn't work for dry skin, it's no good, because the conditions outside and the weather is working against me, not for me, not for the brush. So for now, I'm gonna have to say if you have dry, finicky skin that gets really awful in the winter, trying this technique out may not be the best choice for you for winter time. It's a to be continued to see if it works out in the summer. I have a feeling it'll work out better in the summertime. But if you have oily skin or combination skin, I really am interested for you to try this technique out and let me know if you're able to successfully pat your foundation into your skin until it sets itself. Because even though I have dry skin, I always have to set my face because I can't stand the feeling of having tackiness on my face. So let me know if it works for you. I'm real curious. Anyways, be sure to check out Maddie again on Instagram. I will have her linked down below. Thank you for hanging out with me and testing out this wow. Thank you for testing out this experiment with me. I kind of want to cut, I have like some old sponges I've been saving because I always keep forgetting about this video idea, but I kind of want to cut them open and see what they look like in the inside, because I know a lot of people are fearful of mold growing in your sponge. So first and foremost, to prevent that, let your sponge dry in open air. Do not put it in a sealed container or else you will most definitely come into that issue. But I keep mine in an open area. I kind of want to cut some old one open and see what's inside. So be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on future content. Check out my other videos right here, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.